Hello, everyone. Thank you, and good evening. Welcome to the 2025 Smith Lecture. Now, I know most of you will have been expecting Peter Whittle to deliver the opening address tonight, as he does every year. Unfortunately, as many of you know, Peter was diagnosed with stage 4 cancer earlier this year, and it's a rare and very aggressive form of cancer. And I'm afraid in the last couple of days, Peter has simply not been well enough to leave Windsor, where he lives. And Peter's very disappointed not to be with us, with you, this evening, because he was so looking forward to it. But he sends you all his very best wishes, and his family have asked us to read this message. It's with much sadness and regret that Peter cannot be with you this evening due to a deterioration in his general condition. Peter had, of course, fully intended to be with you all, but sadly, circumstances are dictating otherwise. Please know, of course, that he will be there in spirit and that you will be in his thoughts, not just tonight, but always. Please continue Peter's legacy by doing all you can, in whatever way you can, to help the country he loves so much. And as he has said so many times, let us keep the faith. Thank you from Peter's family. In Peter's absence, and on behalf of the whole NCF team, Ollie, Philip, Emma, Amy, Harrison, Connor, Kevin, Stephen, Rollo, and indeed the wider NCF family, I would like to take a moment to speak about Peter, because in a few weeks we shall mark the 20th anniversary of the New Culture Forum, an organization Peter founded in 2006. And what Peter has achieved in the NCF is quite remarkable. It has brought us all here tonight and at our various national events throughout the year, and it brings hundreds of people together every month, thousands of people a year across the country via our network of smaller NCF locals branches. And it reaches into millions of homes across the nation and around the world. And so as we approach the 20th anniversary next year, it's worth reflecting on how far we've come and Peter's critical role in our success. And speaking personally, I'd also like to say that Peter is one of my dearest friends. We first met in 2010 when we were in a debate against Peter Tatchell in Durham University. And on that very long train journey back to London, we chatted, seemingly without drawing breath, for hours. And I'd never met somebody who was so sound on every issue and with whom I shared such a similar worldview and, crucially, a similar sense of humor, and who also understood every obscure film reference I would make from the golden age of British cinema and comedy. And for those of you who don't know, prior to setting up the NCF, and prior to being Nigel Farage's deputy leader at UKIP, Peter had been, amongst other things, a film critic at the Sunday Times and a producer for the South Bank Show, which was Melvyn Bragg's great art and culture program on ITV. And when Peter founded the NCF in 2006, the established traditional consensus was that the right-left division was economic. Capitalists on the right and socialists on the left. And Peter identified, long before most people, that culture would dictate the divisions of our society in the future and overtake economics. Traditionalists versus progressives. And it took over a decade for others to catch on to this. And so the NCF was something of a trailblazer over these past 20 years, and what Peter set up originally as a traditional think tank to counter the left-wing imbalance and bias in the media, the arts and culture, has morphed into something far bigger and far more consequential. In essence, the New Culture Forum has become a movement, a hugely successful, non-party affiliated movement, dare I say, a counter-cultural movement. And whilst Peter would of course say that the NCF's success has been a team effort, there's no escaping the fact that the major initiatives that have led the NCF to expand and evolve so brilliantly have been thanks to Peter's ideas, his resolve, and determination. I remember meeting up with Peter in 2019. He wanted to discuss an idea with me, and I also had this burning idea I wanted to discuss with him. And so we met up and chatted, and magically we'd had exactly the same idea, a YouTube channel. I wanted to have my own one, and he wanted one for the NCF. And so we agreed that I would help him set up the NCF YouTube channel. And at that time, the field was largely empty. Trigonometry had been around for around 6 months, and in terms of America, most British people could only name Joe Rogan and Dave Rubin as famous American YouTubers. I can't remember if any UK think tanks were on YouTube at that point, but if they were, they had insignificant viewing figures. We launched the NCF channel, and it was literally an instant success. Within a few weeks, some of our episodes were receiving more views than Newsnight on BBC Two. And after a few months, we were one of the largest centre-right channels in the country, which dramatically increased our reach and our influence. And 6 years later today, with hundreds of thousands of subscribers and millions of views per month, our channel remains hugely influential. It's watched and listened to by the movers and shakers in Britain and abroad, and it is by far the largest channel of any British think tank. And this was thanks to Peter's constant striving for perfection, to offer what others weren't offering, and to use the channel to reach directly out to our viewers so that they felt that they were part of a new, growing and exciting NCF family. And we were hugely touched by the countless people, I would say thousands of messages and emails we've received from people who said that when we discovered your channel, we finally realized we weren't alone, but others shared their views and shared their concern that the world was quite literally going mad. Some people even admitted to crying and bursting into tears, realizing they weren't alone, and they felt quite overwhelmed after having felt so isolated for so long. And Peter realized that the public were yearning for community and for someone to give them a voice that the mainstream media had silenced for so long. In responding to our viewers, Peter decided we should have large-scale national events like these to bring these people together in the real world. And so he decided to create this annual lecture as well as an annual conference. And in addition, we now also have an annual literary festival which takes place over an entire weekend, and it will be coming up in a few months. And it was Peter who spearheaded the concept of a network of local branches. And this was to ensure that the NCF didn't stay a London-focused entity within that Westminster bubble, because our viewers come from all over, and unsurprisingly, London isn't our natural home. And he wanted to ensure that everyone could find a local community of like-minded spirits where they could speak freely, make friends, and hear from thought-provoking speakers. And thanks to the hard work of our two national coordinators, Stephen Balog and his successor, Philip Kisley, and the brilliant work of our NCF Locals volunteer coordinators, to whom we owe so much, we now have close to 40 branches right across this kingdom, stretching from Exeter to Edinburgh, and soon to go over the seas to Belfast. and countless thousands of people attend these local events each year. This month alone, in November, there were between 20 and 25 events across the country. And if you'd like to learn of events near you, please do email, what is it? locals@newcultureforum.org.uk, and we'll be in touch, or Philip will be in touch. And looking out into this audience today, I can see many familiar faces, many friends, and many of you too will have also made friends or acquaintances through NCF national and local events. And I know that tonight, for example, some of you have travelled down to London, having previously become friends at local branches around the country. I've no idea, but I'd like to think some of you may even have found some romantic partners through the NCF. Dare I say, even love. And if you have, please do let me know. No hands up now, but the point is, all of this, that feeling of community, that spirit of togetherness, and the bond of friendship, giving a voice to the silenced, all of this is thanks to Peter. And in that regard, I think we all owe him a great debt. If you build it, they will come. And that's a misquote from Field of Dreams, the Kevin Costner film from 1989. Well, Peter did build it, and here we all are. And in terms of the staff of the NCF, well, they couldn't have asked for a nicer or more generous and decent boss. And he's been exceptional at nurturing young talent too. Many well-known young media stars you'll see in the media, in the Telegraph and GB News and Talk, they first cut their teeth at the NCF. Now, even though Peter can't be with us tonight, we very much hope and we think he's going to be watching this video later today or tomorrow. We're all thinking of you, Peter, and on behalf of your NCF family and all of us gathered here this evening, we want to say thank you for what you've created. Thank you for your patriotism and your foresight, your can-do spirit and your boundless energy. We are all the richer for it. Your legacy is profound and secure. Rest assured, we shall continue fighting the good fight. And please know that you and your family are in our thoughts and prayers at this most difficult time. Thank you, Peter, and may God bless you.
Hello, please excuse this brief interruption, but I'd be really grateful if you could please hit the subscribe button and subscribe to our channel. Our mission is vitally important and we must grow this channel to ensure that our content reaches the biggest possible audience. The best way to do this is for you to subscribe. It's totally free. And in addition to subscribing, if you're able to donate, or join our membership scheme, please click on the link in the description or visit our website, newcultureforum.org.uk. We've got great plans ahead, but we can't do it without your support. From only £4 per month, you'll receive a range of perks and benefits, including exclusive content. Thank you.